Are you sure that when a light bulb stops shining, it means the bulb is completely broken? I tested it in the usual way, but I still saw no clear sign that it would work properly again. This is when most people would throw it away and buy a new bulb. But today, I'm going to do the opposite. With a few simple items already available around the house, we will find the exact failure point and try to make this seemingly dead bulb light up again. Keep watching because the final result may make you think twice before throwing away an old light bulb. I put another bulb into the socket and turn it on. It lights normally, so the power supply is still good. The problem is almost certainly inside the old bulb. The power source has now been removed from our list of suspects, so the next step is to carefully look inside the bulb. Place the bulb on the table, run a utility knife around the edge, and separate the diffuser. To find the exact location, we need to prepare a testing tool first. I take a piece of solid core electrical wire, cut it to a suitable length, and strip away the insulation to expose the copper. Use sandpaper to shape the wire tip at an angle. The dull layer disappears, leaving the copper underneath brighter and ready for testing. The testing tool itself looks extremely simple. What we need to know is whether it can help us find the abnormal LED. I return the bulb to the testing position and apply power as shown in the video. This is a live electrical circuit and should not be attempted without proper safety knowledge and appropriate safety equipment. Check the LEDs one at a time instead of guessing. One position begins to show an unusual response. I mark it, but I don't draw a conclusion yet. A suspicious point has now clearly appeared. Only if the bulb lights again will we know whether this diagnosis is accurate. At that moment, my roommate brings over another broken bulb. The first one is still unfinished, so I set the second bulb aside and save it for later. Now we return our attention to the first bulb. Disconnect the power and remove the bulb before continuing. Use a utility knife to remove the marked LED from the circuit board. A small gap appears exactly where we identified the problem. The failure point is now open, but this area still needs to be handled before we can test the bulb again. I use a cordless drill to make a small hole where the LED was removed. The drill bit goes through the exact spot, leaving a little debris on the board. Use a small brush to carefully sweep away all the remaining dust. Use tweezers to choose a screw that fits the hole. Place it in the correct position, then tighten it down with a screwdriver. While I finish the bulb, tell me where you are watching from. I always like to know where repair tips like this are being watched. Everything is now in the correct position, but the bulb must light again before we can prove that this method works. I return the bulb to the socket, apply power, and turn on the switch. The light appears immediately this time. This result confirms that the original failure point was identified correctly, but the bulb is not finished yet. Remove it from the socket because the diffuser still needs to be reinstalled and the second bulb is still waiting. Place the diffuser back in the correct position. Then use super glue around the edge to secure it. Once the joint is stable, spray WD-40 on the outside and wipe away the dirt with a soft cloth. The bulb now not only works again, but it is also cleaner. I install it in the socket and turn it on one more time. The light remains steady and stable. At this point, the first repair is now completely finished. The bulb my roommate brought over earlier still has not been repaired. I return to the second bulb, install it in the socket and turn it on. There is still no light at all. The power supply was already confirmed to be good, so the fault is still inside this bulb. Remove the bulb and wipe away the dust with a cloth. The outside shows no obvious cause, so the LED board inside needs to be inspected again. The diffuser on this bulb is slightly different. Squeeze around the edges with your hand to create a small gap, then separate the cover. The LED board inside gradually becomes visible. The tool we made at the beginning of the video has another job to do. Put the bulb into the testing position, apply power as shown in the video. Then check the LEDs one at a time, using an appropriate safe method. One LED begins to show an unusual sign. I mark that position, then disconnect the power and remove the bulb before working on it. The failure point looks similar to the first bulb, but this time the repair method will be different. Use a utility knife to remove the marked LED. A small gap appears on the circuit board again. On the first bulb, this position was handled with a screw. For the second bulb, I want to try a different material. I take a cigarette pack, but not for smoking. The part we need is the aluminum foil layer inside. Separate the foil, cut it into a small piece, then fold it several times so the size gradually becomes smaller. When the piece fits the area that needs repair, place it into the gap on the circuit board. Use tweezers to adjust it gently so it sits in the correct position. The piece of aluminum foil looks far too simple to make a difference, but the results still cannot be predicted. Cut a piece of electrical tape to fit that area and place it over the top. Use tweezers to smooth the tape flat so it hugs the surface and keeps the foil from moving. The first bulb already passed the initial test successfully. Now we only need to see whether the second repair produces a similar result. Once the repaired area is neat, add super glue around the outside to secure it. Wait until the glue is completely dry before testing again. I return the second bulb to the socket, apply power, and turn on the switch. The light appears immediately. Remove the bulb, reinstall the diffuser, and use super glue around the edge to secure it. Check that it is secure before testing one more time. Apply power again. If you enjoy DIY tips that help old things work again, leave the word restore, hit like and subscribe so you do not miss the next video. The bulb still shines steadily and completely normally. Both bulbs had their exact failure points identified and were repaired in two different ways, using only familiar tools and materials that were already available. Thank you for watching and for always supporting the channel.